Andrew Fredericks, four-year forward captain. It's a pleasure. Tomorrow could potentially be your final game with the Exiles.
Yep.
Tell us about your career. What are you thinking the night before?
Oh man, I'm very proud of the team, the way it's progressed. I feel like Billy and I especially have seen this team through the highs and lows. I remember spring season practices with like 2 people showing up. I remember showing up to practice and it's just Zach Weller and Coach kicking. And I've also seen 25-person practices, the team getting even bigger, a couple weeks into the season this year. I've seen us go to the playoffs. I've seen us lose horrifically in championships. I mean, I feel like this team has changed so much, and we've had so many great players and great guys, and I'm really happy that we have this opportunity to play in the playoffs this year.
A veteran in every way of the word. Tomorrow, we face Clarkson for the second time this season. The first time we were victorious in a 28-0 dominant victory. What is the key to success for us tomorrow in our semi-final game?
Yeah, I mean, Clarkson's a great team. They've got some really strong forwards, but I think our backs have the edge on them. So I think it'll be a game of how well can our forwards contain their forwards, and how much can our backs, exploit their weaknesses through the kicking game and running the ball with hands. It's got to be a game of few mistakes and not missing any tackles on their forwards. So yeah, if we can contain their forwards better than they can contain our backs, then we win.
What does tomorrow mean to you?
It means a lot. It's a culmination of 4 years playing rugby, the culmination of a brand new sport, never played rugby before, relationship with coach I've built over 4 years, relationship with a lot of these guys and this team we've been playing with for a couple of years. So it's a culmination of many hours of work. I mean, 10 hours a week. When it's a game, it's like 17 hours, because it practically takes 7 hours to get a round trip to a away game. So I mean, this sport has been such a huge part of my college experience, and it's been my extracurricular, like my top priority all 4 years. So yeah, I'm very fortunate I found this team so early and stuck with it.
Last question. Do you have a score prediction for tomorrow's game?
Ooh, good one. I'm going to say 28-12.
28-12. Ladies and gentlemen, workhorse veteran Andrew Fredericks. Thank you, Andrew. Billy Marin, it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I get to speak with Exiles legend and scrum half 4-year veteran Billy Marin. Billy, you've been a back for the Exiles and a notable scrum half, likely to be in the Hall of Fame one day. What is the keys for the backs tomorrow as we go into our semi-championship game against Clarkson?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think we have a lot of speed, we have a lot of sharpness, and so I think when you think about the keys, it's making sure we space out well, making sure we're kind of prepared, knowing how we want to attack them, which is through the air and then through a lot of kind of our intricate switches and combination play, but then also having the creativity to be able to improvise when it's necessary, as we all know, plans go out the window pretty quick out there.
Plans do go out the window quite quick. Billy, many people draw comparisons from the scrum half position to that of a quarterback or a leader. You see the field and you command so much of what the forwards and the backs do. What is that like, and how does it work in terms of the vision? You see the game from a unique perspective. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of managing time, and so I think one of the things I think about when I'm playing scrum half is who's tired, whether it's our forwards, our backs, their forwards, their backs, and then the spacing on the field. And so I think you got to kind of keep that in mind at all times and think of kind of like the field almost as an organism that's like living and breathing. There's space and there's always going to be congestion in some areas and space in others. And so when I think about our forwards or backs getting the ball, are we running it quick, kind of running gun rugby, or are we slowing it down, trying to wear them out a little bit? You got to think about kind of the whole, all 30 guys and all 100 meters of the field as kind of one thing that's operating as a single unit.
What a response! What an incredible response, Billy. Last question for you tomorrow. You've been in exile since the start. What does tomorrow mean for you today as you face down what could potentially be your final game? Unlikely, however, reality.
Yeah.
What does tomorrow mean to you?
Of course, that's a fear, but it's also, I think, there's a lot of pride of being able to, having the privilege to have been part of this organization for 4 years, met some extraordinary people, have made memories that I'll treasure for my whole life, And I think kind of to add on to what Andrew said, having seen this program come such a long way from really kind of our sophomore year, especially being, and spring of our freshman year, feeling like it was really on the brink of almost fading into the oblivion, to now being in the playoffs 2 years in a row. Last year we had a shot at the conference championship, and this year, we'd love to be able to go one step further and win that, although taking it one game at a time. And so I think we're going to give it our all tomorrow. Clarkson are a good team, and obviously we don't know what will happen, but regardless, I feel a lot of pride.
Ladies and gentlemen, the backbone of the Exiles rugby team, Billy Marin, thank you.
Thank you.
Andreas Matika, it's a pleasure.
Goddamn pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, for my next interview today, I'm sat with veteran, a late addition to the Exiles Rugby Club here at Hamilton College, Andreas Matika. Thank you for joining me.
Of course.
Andreas, my first question to you: you are the face of the social side of the Exiles Rugby. What has this team meant to you? You are a man of many talents here on campus, an EMT, an intellectual, a socialite, and now you are the face of the Exiles social scene. Please tell us about that.
It's been a lot of fun. It's a great crew. It's a great boozing crew. It's fun to be with people that you just want to spend the entire night with. And really, it's not difficult for me to, throw any events or or do whatever, because I know that all the guys will be there, and that's going to be a great time with everyone.
Wise words. Andreas, many have described you as a dogged defender and a ferocious runner with the ball. Where did you get the tenacity that you bring to the Exiles rugby team, as so many people could see from the start of your career?
I started as a hockey player. So I've been playing hockey since I was 3-4, and that's a brutal sport, just a little further north. And I don't know, I feel like it translates very well. You hit really hard, you get hit hard, and you get back up real quick. And that's the biggest thing I think translates well to rugby, and you just keep going no matter how bruised or how much it hurts.
Respectable answer. Andreas, rugby came into your life in the second half of your college career. And in your first season, the Exiles played in the conference championship. We fell short to the long dominant Plattsburgh team. Tomorrow, the Exiles are presented with yet another chance to make it past a strong Clarkson team in a historic season. We are making a historic stride for the title. What does tomorrow and the opportunity mean to you?
When we lost last year, it was brutal, and it hurt a lot. And I don't know, I feel like I've grown a lot closer to the team, and you don't want to let your guys down, and you know that they're not going to let you down. And I just want to make sure that we all play as hard as we can, and I think that if we do, then we can earn this victory.
Incredible response. Ladies and gentlemen, Prague's nightmare, Andreas Matika. Marcos, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, pleasure's all mine.
To my audience, my next interview is with a man of foreign origin, an incredibly talented back, a fly half, a kicker, Marcos. Marcos, you've led the back line of the Exiles Rugby Club for 2 years now. How's it been? Tell me about your experience.
I think we've had some ups and downs, but yeah, over these 2 years, I think definitely in synergy between the backs in terms of creativity and our little connections and our plays and little pops and running around. I think that's where it really come to shine. And yeah, moving away from a concrete planned game.
More fluid.
Yeah,
if you will.
exactly.
Marcus, you have gained a reputation around our league for being one of the more crafty fly halves, and you bring an unpredictable X factor to the Exiles that has, without a doubt, contributed to our steady success and increase in success over the years. Where do you derive your craftiness and creativity on the field from?
I think it came from, as a little kid, my dad was a big rugby man, and I grew up watching a lot of professional rugby from a young age, and tossing around the ball, and watching the pros do it since I was little. So deep down, I knew all the little things in the back of my head.
Been around the game since a boy. Marcos, last question for you. In such a short time, about a little bit more than a year, you've garnered the respect of the men of the Hamilton College rugby team to the point where they've elected you captain. Tomorrow, you play in your second semifinals game as an exile, captaining the backline. What does it mean to you to play tomorrow against a seasoned Clarkson team?
Well, I don't feel like it's the end. I see the final in our journey. So I think, just see tomorrow as another game or another step. But we haven't played for a while, so it's gonna take a lot for us to all come together and rebuild that team connection. I think that's what's gonna take for us to bring the trophy a little closer.
Ladies and gentlemen, no lack of confidence out of the Exiles' back leader. Thank you very much, Marcos.
Thank you.
John Don.
Hunter.
Thank you for
Good to
joining
see
me
you.
tonight. Exiles audience, loyal alumni, dedicated fans, and longtime forward, John Donahue. Thank you for joining me tonight, John. John, you are one of the few Exiles to have experience playing the game that we all love, rugby, abroad in a foreign nation. This past summer, you got experience in the United Kingdom, playing a different breed of gentlemen over there. How did that experience help you so far this year?
Well, it taught me a lot about teamwork, Hunter. I mean, we have a special thing going on here. We've got a great group of guys who have developed over the past 2-3 years, a great bond, a great connection. And, it's great to get experience with another team, but it's really nothing compares to here. I learned some tips, I learned some tricks, and we could go over that at some other point. But frankly, I learned how much I enjoyed the Exiles, how much I really liked rugby here at Hamilton. It means a lot to me, and I think we've got something special.
Without a doubt. John, since the beginning of your Exiles career, you have developed as a player so much in the eyes of the program. Where did you gain the passion for the sport and really the desire to improve as a player to become one of our most contributing, consistent forwards?
Sure. I didn't play many team sports back in high school. I, did some rowing, I did some tennis, but when I came here and I started playing a little bit of rugby, it reminded me of how much I missed out on. This is a real, winning together with a team really means something that I didn't really appreciate before. And after that, I just became a little obsessed with winning. I really want to win. I saw last year how close we were. That loss to Plattsburgh, I took it personally. I really, I haven't slept one night without thinking about that loss last year since then. And frankly, I want nothing more than to win this conference championship. That's everything to me.
No doubt in his mind, ladies and gentlemen, John Donahue is certain of what it will take tomorrow. John, last question. Tomorrow represents what could be our trip to the conference championship, the very coveted conference championship. As you said, you haven't gone a night without thinking of those boys from up north, up in Plattsburgh. What does tomorrow mean to you, and what tell me a little bit about what you're going to be thinking before the game tomorrow?
For the game, well, I mean, it's a stepping stone. As much as I'd like to think that, tomorrow is end all be all, it could be, as much as I'd like to think that, if we win tomorrow, it's just on the way to the next game. We need to win tomorrow. This is everything. If we lose tomorrow, it's all over. We're seniors. How much more rugby are we going to play in our future? Who knows? How much longer will we have our health? We need to win tomorrow, and we need to leave everything on the field. I'm going to myself, and I know the rest of my team will as well.
An absolutely must-win game tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. John Don, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Hunter, thank you for coming.
Billy, thank you for having me.
Of course. Hunter Hoodcamp, you're one of the most experienced players on our team now in your third full fall season and with some spring seasons to boot as well, almost all at outside center. How does that experience make you a better rugby player, and what have you learned from the game?
Thank you so much for having me, Billy. First of all, experience in a game like this and the nature of rugby. It's almost like a train wreck every time you go out there, like a car accident. You really can't compare it to anything else until you've played. And I think that rugby is one of those sports where you have to go out there and gain the minutes. And I was lucky enough to come at a time where the Exiles were in need of men and in need of guys who were just willing to play and put their bodies on the line. I had never played before freshman spring when I started here at Hamilton, and I never looked back after that first tournament game at Plattsburgh TNT tournament. And I think that experience has helped us get to the point where we are this year, our most winningest season yet. And I think that experience is what's going to take us all the way to our conference championship, Billy.
Hunter, you're known for your dynamism on the field, your electricity. You've been called the danger man before, and you are our leading try scorer over the last 3 seasons. Where do you find that electricity and that energy to make plays happen?
Billy, I think it comes from within. I feel I've always had a chip on my shoulder, as I've always been undersized as a boy, and I think that really flipped a switch in my head where it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but it's the size of the fight in the dog, Billy, and I live and die by that. And I think that rugby is a game where, yes, size is a factor, but what really is a factor is grit, determination, and will to win. And, to be called Danger Man as a sophomore gave me all the confidence in the world. I still think about the way that I ran sophomore year. So I'm trying to get back to that, and I still try to show glimpses of that when I can. I like to run angry. I like to score. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And tomorrow against Clarkson, I intend to do just that.
He doesn't lack confidence, ladies and gentlemen. Hunter, what do the Exiles need to do to beat Clarkson tomorrow? What's one thing?
So, Billy, we got to play as a team. We got to come up in a line, not get too bunched around the rucks, not get too caught up making tackles to the point where we're vulnerable on the wings. We don't normally have problems with that, but it has bitten us before. It is so important. I'm sure you hear me yell my lungs out to spread wide. As long as we make our tackles, we spread wide and we play as a team, I'm confident that we can get the job done and get the ball in the end zone. And to be honest, Billy, I think that we've all been together, especially our seniors for so long, that with what's riding on the game tomorrow, I expect nothing short of an incredible performance out of the Exiles, and I am excited to see what we can get done tomorrow.
You're goddamn right. Hunter, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Billy.